Hi guys, I'm sorry to say, but I've changed the list again. But what I'm not sorry to say is I climbed 80 MMR in about 8 hours, and my Northern Realms faction MMR is at 2,550, which is very good, especially for someone like me that's not the best player in the world by any stretch of the imagination, right? I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm pretty confident we can get it higher, and I don't think we'll struggle to get too much higher. So, let me talk about what's changed. Quite a lot, honestly. But the biggest reason it's changed is because I want to get the Forbidden Magic in. I love this card so much. What it means is if I go first, I can use my Ceremonial Dagger and cards like the Mauler, cards like the Ballista to control my opponent's side of the board while developing my own engines and really not expending many high provision gold cards and winning the round, or at least forcing some high provision gold cards out of my opponent. Now, it's actually quite important, I think, in the upper ranks of Pro Rank to be winning round 1 with this list, because a lot of the better players have been bleeding me pretty heavily, and it's resulting in my Lacerate being slightly lackluster and my Draug being bled out of me. And it's pretty much relied on me getting bailed out by Ronvid and Henselt with Revenants. But if my opponent's got a strong round 3, I'm probably going to lose if I don't win round 1. So, I really love this sort of take in a Northern Realms deck, because Forbidden Magic just synergizes so nicely with my bronze list and makes it amazing. My Mauler is top tier with Forbidden Magic. It's a human, it's a soldier as well, so it's a Draug target and it's going to make Ronvid come out. It's proactive, it's just great. The Ballista, top tier with the Forbidden Magic. It can ping by 1, it can ping by 2, and the Royal Guard is also top tier. It's a soldier, Ronvid's coming out. It's a human, it can be a Revenant from Draug. It's proactive, it demands an answer. And also, if it's left unanswered, I could maybe put a Royal Guard down. If my opponent has a engine that is 5 power or less, for instance like a Skellige ship or a Harmony card of some sort, I can use my Ceremonial Dagger, I can play a Forbidden Magic from hand to shut it down, and then I can use my Royal Guard to buff my Revenant up to keep it alive for a little while, and then I can spawn another Revenant after playing Ballistas and stuff like that. So my bronze list becomes so good. Carabalist is also no joke either when you're using Forbidden Magic. The problem though is with Forbidden Magic is I was using Boiling Ores before as my removal, right? So I don't want my Triss to be playing Forbidden Magic, Oil, or Lacerate because it's just dodgy. And I tell you what, a Triss that can play Lacerate or Forbidden Magic is a top tier, top of the line Triss that really makes me feel good about still including this card in my deck. So I've cut a Dahlia. And I put in Philippa. Philippa is unreal. She's so good, right? Especially with this like control feel I've got going on. I'm just shutting down my opponents so nicely. With Falibor, with Philippa, with your Forbidden Magics, I can really shut down most of my opponent's engines pretty damn comfortably. Obviously, having an oil is really nice at times, but we don't really miss it that much, I'll be honest. So, what have I ditched? A Dahlia. I'm so sorry. But this card was essentially a reinforcement with a 3-point body for 11 provisions. So, being able to put Philippa in over this card is worth it. Now, what that means is I've lost the Vanguard package, which is an incredible package, and makes so much sense if you're playing Visigoth. But like I say, I've gone down a different route, and I do love my Forbidden Magic combo, because I think it just helps me round 1 so much, which I'm finding to be really important, actually, now I'm playing against better players. So, I've lost the Vanguards, and I've lost reinforcements, because I could keep the Vanguards in, and I could keep the old reinforcements in and just ditch Dahlia, but I need to lose a provision somewhere, and the only place I can lose a provision is in this 6 range. So I ditch reinforcements, well I may as well ditch the Vanguards too. So what I ended up going for was, believe it or not, the Camels. I'm not 100% sold on these, and I am going to mix it up, and I'll show you the one subtle change. But what these cards do is it gives us a nice backup Henselt option, so we could Henselt into humans and then Draug, which is really important in some matchups. It also, like I say, they're soldiers as well. So it gives us humans for Draug, but they're soldiers over the Vanguards, which is actually not bad at all. Because obviously they're going to make Ronvid come out, and then I can kill Ronvid with a Revenant. Because normally your first play is Revenant in round 3, Henselt a Revenant, and then every time you play a soldier, Ronvid's going to come out and you're going to kill Ronvid with your Revenant. So having lots of soldiers you can put down is really handy. The Vanguards weren't soldiers, and I was not getting as much value off my Ronvid as I potentially would have liked. So, the cavalries are decent, and the shields are surprisingly useful against Skellige, against Nilfgaard soldiers, even against elves like against Vanessa. They can really sort of, definitely butcher that name, but they can definitely tank a decent bit of damage with their shields. They're not terrible, they're also not great. And in this last 5p slot, I go for a Caraballista, because the Caraballista is actually not bad at all with Forbidden Magics. It's like a worse version of Mauler, right? Last thing I do want to try, though, is ditching these cavalries, because they're decent, whacking another Caraballista, and then in this 7 slot, I've got the luxury of going for a War Chariot or Sheila. War Chariot for that movement. I've got lots of soldiers, so you can get the pocket pretty easily. This is a really nice way of not sinking in like your Philippa when you're going second and your opponent TAs their first play, like they TA a Hawker Smuggler, which is buffing up all the cards in their hand. You might feel like you've just got to Philippa. Well, you know, to be fair, the War Chariot answers that pretty nicely. And it's definitely never a bad card, especially with all the soldiers I'm using, and Ronvid as well is a soldier himself. So it's a real reasonable option. Also, Sheila is so nice within Forbidden Magic lists because it's just that extra bit of damage that you can call in, and having damage on deploy is really good. And she's a human, so she does help my drag slightly. Like I say, my worry, if I take this route with the War Chariot, is where my drag's coming from. But, you know, Pella, Bomb Heaver, Mauler, Royal Guard, Fallible, Philippa, Voimir, Baron. We've got a few, right? It's not amazing, but we have got a few. And a lot of the time my drag roads do feel like they fill up anyway. So I think it's reasonable to maybe even ditch the camels, go for the double Caraballista, and go for the War Chariot or the Sheila, because this card's massively underrated, man. So yeah, there's my 2 cents. Like I say, the deck that you're going to be seeing, and the only deck I've been playing with, is the double Cavalry and the single Caraballista. Just the last consideration before I show you the games. By the way, they're really good games, and one's against a Gwent Open player. You could, of course, elect to go for 2 4 provision cards down here. I would argue you probably want to try and play soldiers. Apparently soldier is not a tag that exists. You could go for the enchantresses. These are again drag targets, but I would argue soldiers are really where it's at. So I don't know, man. Like the enchantress is decent, but I'd be more inclined to maybe go for a temple guard, maybe go for a Redanian knight. I don't really love any of these cards, to be honest. Maybe a Centurion Knight, because again it's playing into that removal. It's not a terrible card. I worry we're just going to lose out on too much lacerate value. So there's not really any soldiers you'd love to include down here. A Siege Ladder on its own isn't completely terrible either, because it can free up a Revenant row. It can move like a Caraballista or a Mauler back, but I don't think it's worth it. So that's why I've not elected to go for 4s, because I do think the Caraballista does work quite nicely, and then you could just whack a War Chariot or Sheila in, because I don't think there's really any 7s that are worth including over Sheila or over the War Chariot, because I'm just not getting the Visigoth value in this list. I've gone a different route, right? So yeah, the Immortal Cavalries are a real option with a single Caraballista, or the other option is going for double Caraballista and going for a Sheila or War Chariot. Anyway, I'm going to try the War Chariot tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. There's some really good games, and like I say, one of the games is against a player from Gwent Open soon. That's this weekend. Subscribe for more. I hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't want to talk for too long, but yeah, this deck's fire, bro. It's so good, man. I love it. I really love it. I think this is the way to play NR. No question in my mind that this is better than the list I shared with you yesterday. I'm confident, man, that it's better. I reckon this is the list. Maybe just not the War Chariot, maybe not the Caraballista. These are the last 3 slots. You could play around with it, right? Obviously, Adepts aren't bad. I don't think there's any 9s worth included. Maybe Tainted Ale, probably not though. I think that's just a bit of a waste. So yeah, there's my list. I think it's pretty fire. I know it's good. So yeah, I'll stop talking. Let's go, baby. This is the game for peak. Are we going first or are we going second? We're going second up against Blood Scent. So, Mulligan. That's our first step. What are we doing? We don't want Revenants. We want Ronvid. That's good. Bomb Heaver. We don't want that in our hand, right? However, right? I am not winning round 1 against Blood Scent unless I'm massively overcommitting. So, I don't necessarily mind keeping the Bomb Heaver in my hand as just a card to dump down. But I definitely don't want the Revenant in my hand. This is always a round 3 card. Apart from against Usurper when there's an argument to keep it. So I've got double Forbidden Magics. I've got a Ronvid. I'm going to play 3 cards and pass, right? So I've got Ronvid as 1. Maybe. I think I'm just going to keep this, honestly. I'm going to mulligan something. I'll just mulligan this, whatever. I probably should have just kept it as I'm going to play 3 and pass. I probably should have just kept it, man. That didn't really make much sense. But whatever. I don't want to give away the fact that I'm not pushing, so Probably playing Royal Guard. Ballista's pretty good against Blood Scent for the next round, so yeah, I'm going to play... I definitely should have kept that damn Bomb Heaver, but whatever. Let's do this. I could also like threaten the round slightly with a Forbidden Magic here. I imagine this doesn't survive though. I definitely should have kept the Heaver. Because you're not going to win this round unless you massively commit. Like obviously, look, I've got Falibor, which is brilliant, but I'm still not going to win the round, I would imagine. And so I'm going to play like Philippa. So I don't really want to do that, to be honest. I'm not really about that. I'm going to play Ronvid here. Might even just play the Carabalista. This should have just been the Bomb Mima, right, as my last play here. Ronvid maybe gives away the fact I'm not pushing and he might just use less. But this is why you're not going to win round 1, right? In fact, I'm just going to put this down, honestly. I don't think this massively gives away the fact I'm going to pass either. But I've really not forced anything out of him, which is the bad news. He's not playing around Igni very well, is he? I mean, you could argue my Lacerate's looking pretty much fire. I don't have to pass here. To be fair. Let's try and get a bit more out of him, right? Because I can make this play. Still got Lacerate. I've still got a lot of good cards. Obviously the Thrive means I'm not going to be able to take it. Wasn't this a good Philippa? It was quite a good Philippa earlier on, right? But Philippa's always going to be good. Like round 2, she's going to be good too. I feel like I can just maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've played this wrong because this I could still pass, right? I'm essentially what at 14 points, but I'm pretty sure I don't need to pass. I think I can even play Carabalista and get away with it. Maybe I Lacerate here. Maybe I pass. Maybe I just play Carabalista. I kind of like the Carabalista play. Basically, step 101. Depending on your mulligan, work out what you're going to do, right? Which I've not managed to master that. But it looks like I'm going to go -1 to take the round. Which isn't great, but it's also not terrible. I mean, is Falibor enough? Falibor plays for... So this plays for 5. Sorry, this is 2. I'm at 34. So I'm at 23. I need a 10-point play. So Falibor's enough. Is this enough? Lacerate is 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 13. Does that tie me? Does Lacerate tie me? Pretty sure Lacerate ties me. Is that... Yeah, that's pretty bad, right? I think I just take it, though. Falibor's enough, though, right? Oh, I've done it so bad. 1, 2, 7, 9... 13. Oh my god, this is bad. Cool. So that took me a while to do my maths. Overall, pretty happy with it. Can't really complain too much. Normally against monsters, you're not going to win round 1. But he was playing pretty slow, right? And you can see the Forbidden Magic, like, with the Royal Guard as well. It just makes my bronze list so much better. My Maulers are better with it. My Ballistas are better with it. Royal Guards are better with it as well. So this is a very important card. Because I've got Ronvid, I'm always henselting a Revenant. I think I'm supposed to keep this in hand. It just makes my mulligans a bit better as well. There's a chance I don't draw into it, but I can mulligan more aggressively. Same with the Bomb Heaver. Like, I never want this card in my hand round 2, but I'm going to kick it because there's a lot of gold power still in my deck here, right? Baron, Triss. I've still got the Lacerate as well, which is good for the long round, right? I've got potentially double Lacerate. The Pella's really important for removing his defender, so I can Baron his Oriana. But I've got a lot of gold still in the deck here, so I might just draw badly. Cavalry's good. Baron's very good. Double Cavalry's really good. My Hensel is going to be on Mobilization's going to be on a Revenant. First play. Let's kick this. Don't want to brick my Hensel on a Revenant. What have I missed out on? Just Triss and Voimir. Oh, that's a lot of gold power, man. I think we've got to risk it, guys. That's a lot of points. This is a Triss Lacerate and a Voimir that I'm missing out on with this hand. That is not good. Maybe we just have to keep it though, man. Maybe we've got enough. No Voimir. Oh, Jesus. Still didn't hit it either. So this is my Philippa, right? I believe. This basically blocks my Philippa otherwise. Wait, how much damage does Philippa do? 7? Yeah. Otherwise my Philippa's just going to end up hitting this, right? Also, Philippa's not a bad target for... You can spawn Revenants off her. Where am I most likely to Draug? Anywhere really. But you can see I'm not really missing the Vanguards, and I'm not really missing Adalia. These are still giving me enough. And the fact that they're spawning a soldier, they're spawning Ronvid because they're soldiers, is super good. I'm actually going to go for this first. Reason being is I can Henselt now. Ronvid doesn't come out, so I'm not wasting a Ronvid. When I play this other Revenant, Ronvid will come out. And I'm going to stick to the back row, I think. Yeah, I'm going to stick to the back row here. Philippa's most likely just going to be a Revenant. Turn into a Revenant for me. But like, I fill my board up loads, so Adalia sometimes is kind of awkward. Like, especially like in a mirror kind of matchup. It just feels a bit weird sometimes. So I am going to sacrifice Philippa here. Because of course the Pella's not a soldier. He's one of the few non-soldiers. This also is not a soldier, so the Mauler would have been better here. But, I mean, I've drawn really badly, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 gold cards in the deck. On 8. Obviously, I mulliganed, what, 2 of these away. So 4 of my bottom 6 cards are gold. It's pretty unfortunate, right? Especially as 2 of them are tutors. Missed out on 2 gold cards as a result, because I missed my 2 tutors. Okay, again, this is probably dying, right? If this was a Vanguard... Feels really bad. I am just going to put another Revenant in the back here, I think, first, though. I guess I might as well just do this. I guess I might as well do this, actually. I'm always Drauging the front, so... Here. Because I've got these. I really do like this card, man. Really do like it. Okay, the Beast. I cannot deal with the Beast, but he's a decent reset target later on, instead of Oriana. This is maybe if I Drauged sooner, if I had a Ballista down, I could have dealt with that, but... Again, look. The Vanguard is just giving me points, man. You know? The Immortal Cavalry, it's giving me points. It's played for 9 tempo, essentially, right? But it actually played for 10 because of the Voimir buff as well. If I had Voimir. And it's got a couple of shields. That is really good against some decks. Now, he's made the misplay as well because he's bleeding my front row. Which is my... whatever you call it, row. My Draug row. I obviously need to make sure I don't overfill here, which I'm very much in danger of doing. But just imagine the Voimir here, guys. It's a shame I don't have it. And I think he realises the error of his ways and he starts bleeding the back row here. This is going to be his Oriana coming in. Now, I'm denying 2 bleeds right in the front. He's supposed to have bled the whole back row. But I guess he's worried of me recycling Revenants, which is fair enough. Draug coming in like a Pella on steroids. So it's probably Ballista. 3, 6, 7. I've got 7 in the back. I'm going to recycle these Revenants in the turn, so I don't want to spawn anything else in this back row. Now, there is argument to have gone for the reset first on Oriana, because then it sort of denies Beast Valley, but it doesn't because of the Aussie, so I'm talking nonsense. Right, so I need to use these pings up. May as well hit Queen of the Night, right? And then we're going to recycle them like this. Okay, so I could Baron now, right, and then kill Oriana. Because if I lacerate now, it's just adding to his beast value. Ronvid'S coming back. I forgot about him for a little while. Maybe I misplayed slightly with resetting my things because I ended up with a full front. Like, I might lose this game still, but it's only because I didn't find Voimir. I just didn't draw my gold cards. You can still see the value in the deck, right? It's unreal I've lost this game, to be completely honest with you. But Voimir's playing for just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 18 points, plus he gets me, yeah. So I lose because I don't draw. My front row's full. Maybe I misplayed slightly there too. So there's the deck. I didn't draw my gold cards, right? What can you do? And I lose by a point, and it stops me increasing my peak. I head into another game. I even risked the mulligan as well, right? I guess my row management was quite poor. I had to put Draug in the front still. Sorry, I had to put Baron in the front because otherwise we would have got yeet waved. I'm not sure there was much else I could do, honestly. Maybe I used too many... I don't know, man. There was no place on Ronvid. Otherwise I would have killed Ronvid. My front row was full, right? So I was basically taking a point away from myself and losing a point of damage. My front row was full. I just needed Voimir. Triss would have been good too, right? But Voimir was like a 24-point play there because he would have spawned an extra Revenant as well because Ronvid would have come out. Okay, so I don't want Revenants in my hand. That's for sure. And I'm leaning more towards these being round 3 cards. You need these for your Draug, right? Which I kind of like being able to mulligan them. When you're using a Dahlia, they kind of feel a bit awkward. Now, against the old Mystic Echo, I do not like leading with cards like this first. And because I've got the dagger, I could still probably line up a Forbidden Magic quite early. So I'm just going to start with a Royal Guard here. You could also argue Ronvid's a good start. But I think this is better because there's a chance, basically, that my Forbidden Magic, even if I get it off, let's say he plays a 4 strength card here, or a 5 strength card, I can dagger him, and then Forbidden Magic. If it lands in the back row, it feels bad. Now that's so good, getting that out of him on a Royal Guard. That's why this card's so good, man. Like, for 4 provisions, you get removal. I feel like my bronze list just feels so solid in this list, man. And I'm not using smelly Vanguards that aren't even Northern Realms cards. Don't feel like I'm cheating on my Immortal Cavalries, you know? The bronze list just feels super nice. And the Triss is just unreal. Lacerate or Forbidden Magic. Is there a better Triss in the game? Probably not, honestly. Probably not. So I'm just going to ping this down once. You want to leave this Ceremonial Dagger floating as much as you can. Because of course it can line up wands, but if he was to play like something I actually want to get rid of, like a sort of like a hawk, I could wipe the board with him right here. I could wipe these 2 Harmony engines. I think what I'm supposed to do, even though the Forbidden Magic looks tempting, I'm supposed to do this, I think. Blisters is just unreal. We're still pretty much in cruise control. I've really not expended anything good. Obviously the Ronvid's poisoned, which is a bit spooky, but... The question is, are we still anticipating another Hawk? When this is at 5, I might consider daggering it, but I don't like the dagger yet. I'm going to Ballista first, because there's a chance he poisons Ronvid, and this would make the Mauler. This would make Ronvid come out with the Mauler. So I'm going to go for the Carrot Ballista first here. And this card's alright, it's just like a poor man's Mauler, but it's a bit more expensive. You can also get the pocket on it, which can sometimes be good for the armor. Can be useful. So he gets the poison on Ronvid, and that just, you know, proves that it was correct. I made the correct play. Now, I am just going to take the Forbidden Magic here. Front row! Oh, I actually landed in the front. And again, there's no reason to use this dagger. It's not going anywhere, right? But I'm really expending no resources here. I've played bronze cards, and I'm staying in this round really comfortably. And then if I need to, I could use my Falibor a bit later on. I feel like when you don't have the Forbidden Magic and you've got the thing, this first round becomes really kind of awkward, and you end up just using your big gold cards and still losing the round. But I feel like this deck is so good at going first. I really do. Fave. What is this? Surely it's not another dwarf. Normally just use one of these. I guess it could be. I mean, look at this card though. It's kind of unreal how good this card is. So I guess I'm Phalaboring and securing the round, right? Philippa's much better than Falabor because of the echo, right? Is there anything to roll the Cree? Nah, nothing to roll the Cree. Let's Falabor. This card's really good against us, so we've done really well. This round's gone very, very well indeed. I'm very happy with it. Ronvid comes back as well, just in case. So, look. Let's assess the different sort of cards I'm using compared to the last list. Instead of Vanguards, I've got these Cavalries, which are an easy mulligan for my Drow Ground 3. Instead of a Dahlia, I've got Philippa coming in. And instead of the oils, I get to use the Forbidden Magics, which just gave me so much value in that round, right? Makes me so much more difficult to deal with. I'm really happy with this, man. And it just means I'm so much better at going first. Like, that is such a good performance for a deck going first. I invested next to nothing. If I could draw my gold cards this game, it would be nice though. Oh my goodness. So I've got Roll Decree and I've got ADC. So I've got Draug and I've got Baron, but there's still no Voimid, there's still no Triss. We got Ronvid down, of course. There's the Baron. So this is now Voimir. There's the Triss. Let's go. I actually drew my golds this game. Now, I've still got 2 Revenants in the deck as well, right? I've got this off Roll Decree. I've got this off ADC. A Lacerate would be really good. But I actually want 1 Revenant and maybe an Immortal Cavalry. Because I'd always like to lead as my first play as a Revenant. But then again, this sort of covers me as well. I'm going to kick the Mauler for sure. I keep this hand. It's a very good hand. So I imagine his first play is Call for Harmony or whatever it is. Waters of Broccolon. And he does go for the double Waters to play around Philippa, which is pretty sensible. My Forbidden Magic's going to get me some good value here though. Come on Philippa, do your job. Come on Philippa, we expect more. But I'll Forbidden Magic next right and then I'll Head out straight away. Oh, he does that. Just blocks my Forbidden Magic. Rats. Okay. So I'm just going to Pella, I guess. It's looking like I'm going to be drouging the back. So I want a Forbidden Magic to kill this. Obviously my Phalabor's gone as well, right? But I do also want to Forbidden Magic quite soon. Pretty unlucky with my Philippa there, let's be honest. Okay, but he doesn't, importantly, he doesn't get Harmony. What did he just kill for 1? Is that Philippa? Damn, poor Philippa. Gives me this. This is my Henselt now, right? And look at the Henselt value, man. Look how good this card is, bro. The Forbidden Magic. Unreal. So this stands in the back row. I'm going to keep this in the back row anyway now. If it landed in the front, I would have, you know, gone for the front. That's fine. So I've only got 1 Immortal Cavalry, which is a bit peak. Maybe I should have gone front there, still. That's the bad thing about the Forbidden Magic, right? The randomness of which row it lands in. A little bit like the randomness of Ronvid. My Draug is looking a little bit sad here, I will admit. But that's mainly just because I didn't draw this card. Again, this is a Vanguard. This Revenant's just DIE dead, right? As it happens... Still very much alive. So Triss is a Lacerate as well, right? So I've got double Lacerate. His Oak's pretty early. It's going to be a tough game, man. We'll see. I did draw most of my golds. I just wish I had another Cavalry. Can't really complain too much, though. Hawk. Is that going to move? Why has he hit that down for 2? That's pretty weird. Why did he do that? There's obviously a reason. I just don't know why. How much bigger is... Why did he hit that down? mean, he couldn't have hit this. I guess he could have hit this. It's not Shiru, man. No way, right? There's no way he's playing Shiru and Mystic Echo. I'm nervous now. I'm pretty nervous now. I think I just have to Draug here. I could Baron. It's pretty sad Draug, honestly. This is where Daily does help as well, but I mean, most of the time, you end up with more humans anyway. Like, I've got a deck for the humans here, right? This card's really annoying for me. Do you need to kill it, I'd say. Because it can move Revenants into the same row. I mean, damage is already done, so there's no real point trying to kill it now, in fairness. Too early for Voimir. A little bit too early for Lacerates. It's also a little bit too early for Draug, right? Is there any risk of putting Draug in the back row? A Baron in the back row? I think I'm back row Baroning here. This is the second best 6 provision card of the game, behind my boy. I'm trying to think if there's any risk. I mean, I very much doubt he's using whatever it's called. Yeet Wave. Crazier things have happened though, but it's obviously just filling my row up as soon as he can here. Mr. Pavko. So, am I still double lacerating? Or has that changed my line of play? Pretty sure I'm still double lacerating, right? Could thunder him. I think lacerate's better though, right? Let's do that. Shame about his Tuvril here that he's about to play. Okay, so I definitely take my Voimir now because he's got Tuvril last play. Hopefully it's Tuvril, not Lacerate. 3, 6. So I mean, I may as well just kill this, right? Also stops Ronvid'S spawning in the in that front row. Look at the Voimir value though. This is what we missed last game, right? All this power. This card's unbelievably good. And his last card's Tuvril, which I've just countered. He got pretty greedy with his Barnabas. I don't know if he would have won if he Tuvrilled first. So he's going to Tuvril the back row. Fair enough. Does also just give me an extra Revenant. Actually, no, it doesn't. Yeah. Let's go, man. GG. Always show last card. I'd want to know. Voimirting points, the chat says. Nice, Nasky. Let's go, man. Okay, so that's the deck. And that's Wongid as well, right? So we just played against a pro player. Playing Harmony. And we just beat him. And I was going first. And it was pretty comfortable. Yep. This deck is Trebon. Merci beaucoup for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more from me. I'll try not to go like every day in that. I've got like a few more meme decks I can show you as well. And I can even do deck cards for like your Lippy decks and stuff like that as well, right? So yeah. Bang.
A superb specimen. Truly.
Thanks for following Limit Danix.